Okay, let's talk about two things. Let's talk about genetic history and sexual chemistry. So there's two aspects we're going to consider. Approach anxiety, let's talk about choosiness. And this is just good for empathy, for understanding where you're at or where women are at, and just to comprehend it, right? So historically, in our million years of genetic history, we have only had about lived in a community of maybe 150 people. Of that 150 people, maybe the people, as far as the people that were um, approachable or potential partners from male to female, right? Considering all distribution of the ages, there might be 8 people or so. And so the anxiety, like, why would you feel anxiety? Like, you have, like, from a physical standpoint, you have dominance. You're not afraid for your personal safety, but there's this dread that sometimes comes over men that when they approach women is just like kind of terrified. And where that comes from is the genetic history, right? You had about 8 chances in your life, and if you failed, if you freaked them out, then your genetic line died because your community is 150 people. And so you have a limited number of options. And so when you approach, express some interest, there's a lot of times there can be a high amount of anxiety for men. And you have to just understand your genetics. The reality of modern living is you have many, many choices, many, many opportunities. And, it's a different kind of genetic problem. The choice is not the approach itself, the danger is in the choosing, right? To choose somebody that can't pair bond or has malicious intentions, etc. That's where the danger is, and it's just a difference between our modern reality and genetic history. So that's something to consider. With especially with a lot of men that are not soliciting partners, you don't necessarily have to open up full relationships with women. Just generate little chemistries, understand understand openings, getting past the genetic anxiety so you can see real red flags as opposed to genetic red flags that aren't relevant. Let's go through another paradox, which is kind of a mirror, but just to understand we have different experiences, right? So for women, there's a similar type of history, right? Like you had, as a woman, historically, millions of years, you have, about 8 partners or 8 potential partner choices. And if you don't choose the alpha, right? If you don't choose the high status male, then, you died and your child died, right? If you chose a weak man, that's what happened. And so you can spend a lot of time just endless choosiness, endless pickiness. There's also the pattern, like you're genetically wired to go after the high status men and keep trading up. That's the genetic history. The modern reality is you have unlimited choice until you have very little choice. And staying in perpetual choosiness is the modern trap. Like even though that's your genetic history, the modern trap is, women don't get married until they're 30 or don't start having, kids until they're, mid 30s, which is geriatric pregnancy by that point. And, you have reduced marital satisfaction, you have those kinds of things because allows you to be like it feeds your genetics. That's what social media does. That's what modernity does. So it's important to be aware of it. It's important to take the important parts of genetics, uh, you know, from the situation, but understand like be in command of it and understand how um, it fits into the modern reality and know where the traps are, right? The traps are like if you never get beyond approach anxiety, you never have chemistry with women, you don't understand what to choose and what to not choose, right? You can get stuck in the genetics. The problem with staying in perpetual choosiness is you never, like, you don't want to stay realistically in the dating market beyond 23 as a woman, really. Like, if you understand that your highest potential mate capacity is 23, your pair bonding reduces after that. Your loyalty of your masculine relationship is built in your loyalty in your 20s. If you understand these dynamics, you're not going to remain, even though your genetics are pulling you towards perpetual choosiness, you're going to want to escape it, really, for your own best interests. And it's the same with the masculine, as far as in the modern environment. All right, thanks for listening.